So, have you responded to the call of God on your life at some point during this time of processing and done what God has asked you to do? Have you recently said, I am going to take this first step in the Lord? And you stepped out on faith and did something that God asked you to do that may have terrified you and scared you, but you pushed through. Are you thinking about that thing that God has asked you to do? And you're thinking about acting on it and you're getting ready to make that move. I need to tell you, once when the birthing has taken place, make sure that you care for that baby. Go back if it's been a minute and revisit what it is that God had called you to do maybe long ago. Pick it back up, nurture it, and care for it. Allow that thing to grow and develop and mature. If you recently have done something grand, something big, no, it's not over. No, it's just the beginning of what God wants to do. If you're getting ready to do something, know that that's the first step in a series of steps. Continue seeking the steps and moving forward with the Lord. You see, the enemy, as soon as the birthing comes, he is not going to stop trying to come after the baby that God gave you, what was put in your womb for it to be birthed. He is going to try to kill, steal, destroy, and devour it. So you have to protect it in this time. So what's interesting is that when a woman gives birth, it is difficult, it is challenging. There's much anticipation and eagerness for the moment to arrive. And when it finally arrives after 9 months of this growing and maturation in the womb, it doesn't stop once when the birthing happens. In fact, the mother soon learns that her life will never be the same again. She is forever a mother, and that baby that she's given birth to is going to need more attending to now than ever. The moment of birth was intense. There was a push to be able to do it. There was resistance that needed to be overcome. But even now, more so than ever, when the mother may be at her most tired, most exhausted, her body is at its weakest, she now has a baby she has to tend to. She has to care for it. She has to nurture it. There may be sleepless nights. There may be a complete disturbance in routine and diet and exercise and activity. The changes the mother experiences in her body, in her life, they're real, and it is going to require a sacrifice completely unknown to the woman. A woman, after giving birth, experiences changes and challenges like no other. But there is a joy and a beauty of being able to see what it is that was in her growing all that time, that she has given birth to, and this beautiful journey with this newborn baby that now she is responsible for. So just know that the birthing is just a step in that process. But every moment after that requires even more of your attention than anything else you've ever tended to before in your life, because of how vulnerable it is in this time to the enemy, because how vulnerable you are in this process as you have been through a long season a processing just to prepare for the birth and a labor and delivery. So in this time, as you are pushing, as you are gunning to make sure that you really learn how to care for this baby, that you learn this baby, and that you grow and mature and evolve from being a woman who had something growing within to becoming now this mother who has a baby to take care of, as you transition from being the person that you were to now this person that you are, which can be a pastor, a healer, a prophet, an apostle, a teacher, whatever minister and ministry God has called you to. As you're making that transition, make sure you're finding those moments to care for yourself. Make sure there's that balance between doing what needs to be done to ensure the safety, the well-being, the growth and maturation of what God has called you to, as well as being able to find those moments to care for yourself. So it's really helpful to think about it in terms of a mother who spent 9 months carrying something, has given birth to it, and now needs to be on the other side, caring for it, tending to it, nurturing it. What does God ask you to do? What is it that you've done? Have you abandoned it? Have you neglected it? Can you look back on what it is that God has asked you to do? Can you look back on what God has desired you to do and say, not only have I done it, but it's also grown because I've nurtured it? Can you see the fruit of it? Can you see the blossoming, the unfolding, the evolution of it? Or is it sitting there dormant, stagnant, dying off because it's been neglected? So it's something to consider for so many different people that are in different phases of their life. Do you need to go back and revive something that God had given to you, that you started, but you didn't finish, you didn't complete, you didn't tend to? Has God asked you to do something just recently and you did it, but you're slow moving with it? It's on your time. It's at your comfort. It's when you want to. You see, a mother understands that when she has a baby, she's not on her time no more. She has to tend to the needs of the baby. It's not at a comfortable pace or at a casual pace. It's as the baby dictates. It's as the baby needs. It's often been said that the baby controls the life of that mother and or that father for the beginning years. It's all based off of the baby's routine and the baby schedule, and everybody else gets on board with it. Know that if you're getting ready to step into something, it's only the first steps. This is where discipline comes into place. This is where routine and schedules come into place. This is where making the sacrifice of entertainment, making the sacrifice of sometimes even sleep, making the sacrifice of indulging the self beyond reasonable self-care needs to happen. This is no longer about you. Just like a mother, it's no longer about just the mother. There's something that has been birthed, and it needs almost all of your attention. Just as you would care for a baby is just how you need to care for what God has given you to birth. As you can see, this is my revelation, my marching orders for myself that God wanted me to share with you all to help you on your journeys as well. Talk soon.